So back in the 1970s, this man, I guarantee, loved the 1970s, going into the 1980s, started to lose their power, their whole unions. This is what this guy wants to bring back. Everything that he's doing at the moment is in reference to the public, putting money into the public, getting government to go bigger and bigger and bigger. This is what it was like back in the 1970s. Now, there's got to be quite a few people that maybe watch this video that haven't actually lived through the 1970s and 1980s in the UK, haven't realised the downtime in reference to electricity in your homes. You couldn't have that on. You had rubbish on the roads, rats on the road because of the unions going on strike, companies going bust because the unions had so much control over industries. This is what this man is bringing in, and I'm going to do a series on politicians, and this man especially is what I really want to start with because he's one of the worst. He's one of the worst hypocrites, and to me, he's a disgusting piece of crap. And how he wants to, what I believe, how he wants to bring our country into the Stone Age again, really needs to be stopped. So hopefully, come the next general election, he won't be here. Give you an idea of where I think Labour have always been, and they still are to this day. And the likes of Kier Starmer is basically wanting what we had back then, which was a complete disaster. So this is Leyland Car Plant, where we, yes, the UK, manufactured our own cars. And it says here, in the 1970s, the British unions were thriving. Around 50% of all workers were members of this union. Now, can you imagine a union boss? Union bosses today, right? They're paid loads and loads of money, and they have certain controls, but nowhere near the sort of controls that they had over there. The amount of power they had over the people, and they would just call them out to strike every bloody minute for any kind of reason, just a reference to a power trip, just to get their own way. And 9 times out of 10 they did, because if they pulled the workforce off, then people wouldn't hit their time limits for manufacturing whatever it was, right? But it says here, about 50% of all workers were members. There was a robust shop stewards movement, which basically means the lackeys for the main guy or guys that run the union. And delicate structures were bursting with life and energy. I won't call it bursting life of energy. I'd say that it was bursting with just nasty evil, really, because at the end of the day, it cost so many people's jobs, so many businesses, and many other things that happened back then. It says here, within 10 years, and this is when Thatcher started to take over, the movement had lost half of all its members and was politically defeated. And this, I believe, was due to the fact that people started to realise that the unions weren't a good thing, because the manufacturing was starting to move abroad, because they didn't get all this crap abroad. They was able to get things cheaper as well. So the manufacturing, the companies started to move out, and then people started to come away from the unions because they knew they were a bitter pill. And this is literally just one industry. This is our own industry in the UK that was pretty much flattened by unions.
Pretty much every single unionized position are paying their employees, a lot of their employees, way more than they deserve. And the ones that truly have the ability to excel are picking up other people's slack, or they're not getting paid what they should be getting paid. They should be getting paid more than the people, simply doing the status quo or even below. Listen, I've worked in unionized environments. I know exactly how this shit works, exactly how it works. And the people that do great work get and then those people that are capable of doing good work, they stop doing it, because why the would you? It's literally socialism in a micro workplace environment.
As proven to both yourself and me, I'd like to hope that you've actually realised exactly what kind of person he is, that he's willing to give his money to his best mates, to the unions, to grease their hands, because he knows what side his bread is buttered. He understands that the old grannies and old men don't really matter, because the chances are they're not going to vote for him or for his party, so why bother? So it makes complete sense to someone like him to give more and more money to train drivers that are already on about 70, 80, or maybe even £90,000 a year, and take away from your granny and your granddad so they can heat up their house during the night time, even though they criticise the Conservative government for even thinking about taking off the allowance for winter. See, the likes of Kier Starmer are very, very dangerous people. They understand how to twist things, and and they also understand how to lie. But he also understands that once he's in power, he can do pretty much what he wants with a 400 majority. And is he going for it or what?